Hey everyone! I just popping in to talk a little bit about budgeting with credit cards here because I've been getting a lot of questions about, where do I put my credit card on my budget sheets, and the answer really comes down to how you use your credit card. So I just kind of wanted to walk through a few of those options and how to use your credit card on your budget sheets. So the first option I'm going to talk about is the option that I use, which is where you use your credit card during the month and then you pay it the full balance off every month. So this is kind of option number one. So if that's the case for you, where you're using your credit card every month, paying it off in full, either at the end of that month or at the end of the next month, how we want to handle that in our budget is as you use your credit card through the month and make purchases, you're actually going to record all those payments in your variable expenses section of your budget. And then what I do in the debt section is I just list out my credit cards, but I actually budget $0 for them because technically you've already budgeted them for them in your variable expense section. So we don't want to also budget for them here, but I just like to list them here so I don't forget to actually make the payment. So again, if you're using your credit card every single month, but you pay it off, you're not ever carrying a balance, zeros in your debt payments, and then you'll actually budget for your expenses in the variable expenses section. The second method is, let's say you have a credit card balance. Let's say you have like $2,000 on your credit card, and you're not using your credit card at all, and you're just making payments on that balance. So if that's the case, you're just going to include that payment in your debt section. So let's say you're paying $100 a month. So you'll put your credit card and you'll budget $100 a month in the debt payments section. Now, the third option is if you're using your credit card and paying on it each month, but you're not paying it off each month. And just a side note on this option is that this is really the least favorable situation to be in. If you have a credit card balance, our goal is to not be using that credit card anymore and just be paying down the balance, even if you have to, only make the minimum payment, because you really want to get in the habit of not like spend, transfer money, spend, transfer money. Like that's a really dangerous cycle, and it's really not like a healthy financial habit to develop over time. But if that's where your situation is right now, that's cool. And how we would want to budget for that is, again, you would not include your expenses in your variable expenses. You would just include the amount you're paying on your credit card in your debt payments. So you go out, you spend. You don't write that down here. You only write down what you actually pay on the credit card. And the reason for that is because if you're not really technically paying those expenses off in the month, that's not really a monthly expense, right? You're just putting on your credit card and you're kind of just racking up debt for yourself. So that's how we would handle that situation. So budgeting with credit cards can be a little bit tricky, and it definitely changes depending on, how you're using your credit card, and it could change for you, 1 month to the next month. But just kind of be cognizant of how you're using your credit cards and how to set your budget up based on how you're using it. Easy peasy. Thanks all.